We almost had an accident, then this happened. This is why I do not like boarding bikes. All right, guys, Glory Rose here, and I'll tell you guys a quick story. So something happened recently while I was trying to take a bike from junction close to my house to a bus stop where I'm supposed to get a vehicle that will take me to my workspace. On this fateful day, I woke up quite early, around 4:30, and I got to the junction around say 5:45 or 5:50 a.m. And I saw a bike guy. He looked very calm, and I tried to negotiate the fare with him, and he charged me a bit more than I would normally take from that place to the bus stop. But I just quickly agreed because my mind was just focused on getting early to work. So we boarded the bike, and on our way, on getting to the first junction, there was this big tipper that was coming, and I didn't even notice. But I was surprised that the bike man had noticed that something was coming from behind with full speed. And I noticed how careful this bike man had been. He drove to the corner of the road, slowed down, let the tipper pass by, and the tipper was driving really fast. And then we crossed that hurdle. So on getting to the next junction, another tipper was coming, and this one was a little bit. It seems as if he was racing on the road. I mean, a lot of other bikes had already passed me and the bike man that carried me. But he would ride so carefully. I would even say in my mind, the other bikes actually enter, they would be flying literally, even when they saw a bump, they would still be flying. Like they did not value life. So I was kind of like surprised because I'd never seen something like this before. So on getting to where I would get my vehicle going to the workspace, I had to commend this man. I was like, you drive really carefully, as I brought out the fare to give to him. You drive really carefully, well done. And he was saying, oh, he was trying to avoid the tipper and all that other stuff. And I didn't have time to stand and listen to that, but told him thank you very much for driving carefully and for valuing our lives. So what am I trying to drive home from this story? I do not think that life is a race. I grew up in a home where everything was really calm. There was no pressure from my parents to, oh, you need to pass your exams, you need to. But of course, they expect you to be serious. They expect you to be the best, but they will not put so much pressure on you or try to compare you with your siblings or compare you with your friends. So I think I grew up in quite like encouraging environment, a home full of love, I guess. But I've always had this mindset that life is not a race. Even if you have a competitive spirit and you want to excel at what you do, it's not bad. But I feel like we all have where we're going, and you're strictly on your own lane. You don't need to attack another person to become the best, or you don't need to attack another person to be this or that. So I don't know if that makes sense, but take home the moral of this story, whatever you learned from it. But you can also drop in the comments section what you think you learned from my story. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.